The Tale of Two Servants. Once upon a time, in an age when the buying and selling of servants was a common trade, there lived a wealthy man in a bustling city. Though already rich in possessions, he desired to add to his household attendants. He sent his steward to the market with instructions. "Purchase for me 2 servants. Choose carefully, for I wish to test their character." The steward went, browsed through the crowded square where merchants shouted prices and buyers haggled loudly, and eventually returned with 2 young men. One had been bought for 100 dirhams, the other for only 20. When the master summoned the first, he entered with grace. He was fair of face, tall, and carried himself with dignity. Bowing low, he greeted the master with polished words, placing his hand upon his chest. His name, he said, was Jamal, which in Arabic means beauty. The master smiled with approval. "Ah, what a fitting name! You are handsome indeed, and your manners do your name justice." He conversed with Jamal, asking questions. Jamal replied with elegance and wit, his voice smooth, his answers quick, both intelligent and refined. The master thought to himself, "This one was bought for only 100 dirhams, but surely he is worth 1,000. Then the master called for the second servant. This one entered with far less charm. He was short, dark-skinned, and somewhat stooped, with a tired air about him. "What is your name?" asked the master. "Kamal," the young man answered, though his accent bent the word strangely so it sounded more like Jamal. The master frowned. That hardly sounds like a proper name. At this, Jamal laughed softly and explained, "He means Kamal, my lord, but his tongue twists it so." The master nodded and questioned Kamal further. His speech was simple, yet it revealed a clear and thoughtful mind. However, the master noticed an unpleasant odor from his mouth. He dismissed Jamal, then said kindly to Kamal, "It seems you are not lacking in intelligence, but your teeth are in poor health and your breath betrays it. For now, sit a little farther off and speak less until I have sent you to a physician for treatment." Afterward, he ordered Jamal to be bathed and dressed in clean garments to begin his service. Now left alone with Kamal, the master sought to test him more deeply. "Tell me," asked the master, "I hear you and Jamal once worked together in the same household. Why then were you sold?" Kamal shrugged gently. "I do not know, my lord. One day our master decided to sell us. Perhaps he found better servants, or perhaps he had no more use for us. Men seldom confide their secrets to servants, for we are not trusted with such things. To us, it makes little difference." "And how was life in that house?" asked the master. "Were you content with your former master?" Kamal smiled faintly. "Content? A servant is never truly content, for he is not free. Still, we worked, we ate, and the days passed, as they do for all men. Our master labored in his way, and we in ours. Life was neither paradise nor torment. It was simply life." The master leaned closer. "But tell me, what of the things Jamal says about you? Are they true?" "What things, my lord?" asked Kamal. "That you are jealous, disloyal, and prone to gossip. He says you are a man who cannot be trusted." Kamal lowered his eyes, then answered calmly, "If Jamal said such things, then perhaps in his eyes they are true. Do I envy? I cannot say, but yes, when I see others more favored than I do sometimes wish I were in their place. If that is envy, then I must be envious. Am I disloyal? Never would I betray a master, but if asked to join in treachery, I would refuse. If that makes me faithless to conspirators, so be it. And as for gossip, well, when sent on errands, I observe, I report, and I speak honestly of what I find. If that is called tale-bearing, then I am guilty. Yet I mean no malice. No man sees his own faults clearly, and Jamal perhaps only named them as he perceived them." The master, struck by this honesty, pressed further. "Then tell me plainly, what faults have you seen in Jamal so that I may know how to deal with him?" Kamal shook his head. "I have found no faults in him. Jamal is fair of face and courteous, beloved by all. Even his price testifies to his worth. He was bought for 100 while I cost only 20. Goodness and beauty rarely hide themselves. They shine where all may see. The master was deeply moved by Kamal's modesty and sincerity. Later, Jamal returned from the bath, refreshed and perfumed. The master sent Kamal to a physician and then turned his questions to Jamal, testing him in the same manner.
"Tell me, why were you and your companion sold?" Jamal sighed dramatically. "It was no fault of mine, Lord. Kamal was lazy and insolent. Our master grew weary of his behavior, and since we were housed together, he sold us both. But surely he will never find another servant as capable as I." "And were you content in that house?" Jamal declared. "Content? Never! We slaved like dogs, and still the master complained. More than once Kamal urged me to steal money and run away. I refused, for I am loyal, but our master was unjust and ungrateful. At last he sold us, and good riddance to him." The master raised his brow. "And what of the things Kamal says of you, that you are jealous, faithless, and a talebearer?"
Jamal's face darkened. "Lies, my lord! He is envious of me. Look at him! His twisted form, his dark skin, his foul breath. Would you believe such a man over me? It is his own wickedness he projects onto me. He is the disloyal one, the slanderer. If I were to reveal half of what I know of his treachery, you would drive him from your house at once." The master listened silently, noting the bitterness in Jamal's words. Then he asked, "Tell me, what faults do you find in Kamal?" Jamal answered quickly, "Faults! He is nothing but faults. Ugly, clumsy, ignorant, even his tongue cannot say his own name. He is idle in work and sharp in speech, always criticizing others. Trust him, and he will soon speak ill of you, as he does of everyone." The master dismissed him with a thoughtful nod. When both servants were brought together again, he spoke to them. "I have tested you both. Kamal, though you suffer illness, you have shown honesty and humility. You spoke no ill of your fellow even when pressed. Jamal, though you are comely and clever, your words were filled with vanity and malice. Know this, a fair face is nothing without a fair heart. From this day, Kamal shall be trusted above you, and you must learn from his sincerity." The two were set to work in the master's garden, digging irrigation channels. Soon Jamal grew weary and said, "This is too hard. Let us work poorly so that our master grows angry and sells us again. Perhaps we will find a better household." But Kamal replied gently, "Do not speak so, friend. I will take the heavier burden upon myself. Let us not provoke the master. Who knows, we might fall into worse hands." Jamal sneered, "You act pious, but I know you slandered me to gain favor." Kamal shook his head and recounted word for word the questions and answers he had exchanged with the master. Then he asked Jamal to confess what he had said in return. At last Jamal realized the master had asked them both the same questions, and it was he alone who had spoken ill. Ashamed, his face turned red. "I see now," he admitted. "The master was testing us. I failed, and you endured. Truly, honor belongs to you, not me." Time passed, and when the master prepared to travel abroad, he decided the fates of his two servants. Jamal he sold for 200 dirhams, but for Kamal, no buyer was found. The master, however, had grown fond of him. Out of compassion, he freed Kamal, adopting him as a son. Together they set out upon the journey, master and former servant, now father and son. And so the tale ends, with the lesson echoing through the ages. Outer beauty fades, but the truth of one's heart endures. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more timeless tales. Until next time, may peace and wisdom walk with you.